Hey everyone, sorry for any streaming interruptions while I wait for my bus here. I've got about 8 minutes to do this in, but you see the title in the description. Yes, it is true, according to a report I read on Ringside News, on the Ringside News app, as well as it was reported by someone within WWE. According to Justin, I think his name's Justin Barroso or something. According to the guy's name is Justin, but according to Justin Barroso, I think that's his name. Sports Illustrated. Someone had reached out and reported that Vince McMahon has granted Matt Hardy a creative license with the WOKEN gimmick. The reason being is Vince McMahon sees opportunity, and that opportunity is to cash in on an already established franchise or established character. So what that means, obviously, for some of us that were worried, Matt Hardy will be allowed to have some creative freedom. That's what the title is. You know, that's what it was reported on ringsidenews.com, that Matt Hardy will be allowed some creative freedom. Thus, when I read the report, according to Sports Illustrated, Matt has been given and granted a creative license. Now, how far Vince McMahon will allow him to go with the creative freedom he gives him is still up in the air, but this is good news because a lot of us, from the Lexman, OTR Central, Chase Oliver, you know, Solomonster, you know, we were all kind of worried. Any fan of the broken Matt Hardy gimmick was worried whether or not WWE would allow him to you know, have some creative leverage, you know, have some freedom to do what he had done in the past, what he had done before he went back to WWE. Would they allow him to do it? And apparently, according to the report by Sports Illustrated, whoever within WWE has reported, and they're not saying who it is, but whoever reported to them the fact that Vince McMahon is allowing Matt a creative license to do, I guess, to do whatever he wants, almost whatever he wants. I wouldn't say do what he wants entirely. I would say almost whatever he wants. But he's allowing Matt to have some creative freedom in what he does promo-wise, maybe match-wise, story-wise. We'll have to wait and see. It's gonna, I think what really depends on the creative freedom that that Vince has given Matt here is on whether or not the other superstars that he gets involved in will be okay with going in such directions. We know probably they talked to Bray Wyatt about this, Wyndham Rotundo about this, you know, and him being the first feud, the first rivalry that Woken Matt would have, because in a sense, when you think about it, this was one of those dream matches fans always wanted to see. The only reason we never got to see it when Bray Wyatt first burst on the scene and Broken Matt first burst on the scene is because both were in different companies. And both did take shots at each other while within different companies. You know, Bray in WWE, Matt in Impact Wrestling. So now the dream is becoming a reality. This dream rivalry, this dream matchup is becoming a reality. And Vince McMahon sees, you know, opportunity, Vince McMahon sees opportunity with the fact that, you know, you could go with, I'm thinking what Vince sees here is he's basically, I think, how do I put this? I think what's going on is, like I said, when Broken Matt came around and we saw, you know, similarities, if not differences between him and Bray, it's like, wouldn't it be something if these two got it on against each other or had some kind of feud or rivalry? But like I said, they were in both in separate companies at the time. That was nothing more than a pipe dream. You know, it's like, oh, it would never happen. Now they're both in the same company, both on the same brand, and now it's becoming a reality. And the sky's the limit with how far they can go. I mean, Vince has already seen how far how creative the Bray Wyatt character can be, or how creative they can get with the Bray Wyatt character you know, the compound fight with the New Day, the House of Horrors with Randy Orton. You know, they've seen how creative they could get. So you combine that with, you know, Matt Hardy's WOKEN gimmick and what he's done, you know, done in the past before he's done prior to coming back with the Final Deletions, the Tag Team Apocalypto, the Leader Decay, you name it. You know, one like Vince McMahon can only wonder how that when you take those two kind of characters and the environments they've been involved in, one can only imagine how far they could go when paired up against each other. Not just the promo work, but match-wise. How creative can they get match-wise between each other? And if this succeeds, which a lot of people are thinking this is probably the best way to start out or bring in the WOKEN gimmick, bring it into the company, you know, have them start out in a feud, in a rivalry with, of all people, Bray Wyatt. One can only wonder how far it will go. And I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping, because like I said, I mentioned this in a live chat a couple of nights ago with the Lex Man. I said it in all caps, I said WOKEN versus King of Kings. So if this succeeds, if this, you know, generates revenue, it generates viewership, and gets people to tune in to see just upon maybe hearing about the unpredictability, the wackiness, just, you know, the craziness that these two can get between each other, one can only imagine how far they'll go. And for Vince McMahon to at least make the smart move and saying, Matt, I saw what you've done outside with this character. I'm liking what you're showing me. I'm going to give you some creative freedom over this. Because maybe, I think Vince McMahon, whether you like Vince or you don't, and whether he's with the times or he's not, you got to admit that he knows from a legal standpoint that it's better to let someone have some creative freedom with a character they want to bring in and make part of your company than trying to take control of it yourself. So we'll just have to see how far, you know, Matt's going to go with the creative freedom that's given to him and the creative license given to him by WWE and by Vince McMahon. And I guess we're going to get an example of that when he starts having matches or unique matches or whatever kind of matches he has in this rivalry, in this fierce rivalry of the WOKEN gimmick, of the WOKEN Matt Hardy persona, when he goes against Bray Wyatt. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. Because already people are raving at the fact and praising the fact that, hey, we got a sample of what these two can do against each other. What else do you think they can do? What else do you think this rivalry is capable of? So we'll have to wait and see. You know, we'll just have to wait and see how creative this rivalry can get. And who knows, maybe it will lead to Triple H against Matt down the line. And imagine what that can be. Well, my buzz is here. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you all for tuning in live. And I'll continue this later on. Talk to y'all later.